Hmm. The show ended probably about an hour ago, and I'm still very confused with the ending of Survivor Series 2017. The ending to that main event really leaves my head scratching because I am super confused. I'm not upset though, but I'm not ecstatic either. I just don't know how to feel, but I don't want to go one direction or the other until I see what happens next. Which, of course, the only answer to find out is on Monday Night Raw, probably, unless it's a swerve. We find out something on SmackDown as well tomorrow. What's going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for my Survivor Series 2017 live review. It was a show that, let's start off again with the build up to Survivor Series. 4 weeks ago, after TLC, they released a terrible looking card. A card that would made the show look like average to bad. Then they made a lot of changes, I keep saying, even though how many times we've heard them hear them say this, and we get it. That Survivor Series is a one time a year where Raw and SmackDown go head to head in competition. How many times? There should have been a drinking game every time they said that, because I, myself, my friends, we were all getting sick of hearing that. We get it, even though it's not always been that way. Survivor Series has not been bragging rights for how many, 30, 31 years or however long it's been. But I gotta still say, despite that main event, and despite, the main event was not awful, but it was strange. Despite a couple matches that were like decent to average, I still enjoyed this show. I had fun watching it. Again, I was confused by the main event. There was little things I didn't like about the show here and there. But overall, I can't say it was a bad show. It definitely wasn't better than War Games, but I think they put up, a solid, Survivor Series. Out of the 4 years of Survivor Series I've seen, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. Wait, 2013, 2014. My fifth Survivor Series I've ever seen live, like the first time without being just on the WWE Network after it first airs. I gotta say this is probably my second favorite Survivor Series. Last year's was average, wasn't bad, but there was just nothing at stake. 2014 though was still my favorite with that with the Team Cena versus Team Authority match. That was still my favorite. That's still my favorite. I gotta say, this is probably my second favorite I've seen like live. And what's up, T and Coupon? Thank you for joining the live chat. And thank you for sharing that tweet as well about Triple H after the match. I was busting up laughing, man. That was hilarious. Well, but yeah, let's get right into the show. Survivor Series. We had 3 matches on the pre-show, and guess what? I didn't watch any of them, so I can't really talk much about them other than there was Elias and Matt Hardy. Elias won. Don't know what to say. The Cruiserweight title was Enzo and Kalisto. Enzo wins. Okay, I'm looking at smart out moments for the results of the matches. I can talk about them, but he just says thoughts. You don't need to watch this. It was blah, and I can imagine because I'm pretty sure the match was blah. Even though again Enzo as a character is being a great heel, but again I still can't take this Cruiserweight division seriously as the main champion. And this feud with Kalisto hasn't really done anything at all whatsoever. And I heard he did another terrible promo again. Please don't give Kalisto the microphone. He's been talking about lucha things all night, again, as always. It's such a shame. But, again, didn't watch the match. And then we also had a match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the Fashion Police. Owen and Zayn won. They got on the card. They're on the pre-show. But I knew they were going to make their mark sometime tonight. But we'll talk about that when we get to that strange and weird main event that I still don't know how to feel. So let's get right into the show. We open up with a very good opening match. The Shield, Ambrose Rollins and Reigns, taking on the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E. This is a very fun opener. I enjoyed it. As I've been saying before, when the Shield reunited, I wanted them to legitimately face a legit 3-man stable. Like, I would have accepted if it was just Sheamus and Cesaro and The Miz, like they had a match, you know, on Raw. I thought that was going to be the match we're going to get at TLC. I would have accepted it, but then they throw in, you know, Braun Strowman, and then they even threw in Kane in there. I'm just like, okay, like why is it to be 5-on-3? I mean, it's probably going to make the Shield look strong as usual, but we already know that it's not going to prove a point pretty much. I just wanted to see, you know, there's a regular Shield taking on another legit stable, and we got that with the New Day. So I'm like, okay, excellent. I did worry at first maybe this match may make the Shield make New Day look like they're nothing compared to them. But that's not the case, as both teams in this match looked strong. This was legitimate war, pretty much. I mean, if they had the stipulation to this match, I think it would have been great. The match started off just a tad bit slow, but it did pick up throughout the night. You know, we saw some, like, you know, I remember my friends and I were saying, you know, oh, we'd like to see, you know, Roman Reigns and Big E have like go at it as they be a solid feud down the line, and they got some offense in there as well. But it really picked up there towards the end. You know, some tope suicinas. We had Big E do that scary-looking spear shoulder dive through the ropes. Like, everybody, all my friends, we're just waiting for someday for Big E to suffer a shoulder injury, because that looks very dangerous, him doing that. And what else happened in this match? We did have the match. I thought the New Day had them whenever, because they were a time where the New Day was on a roll, taking out the Shield, making them look like they were, like, you know, the more powerful team as well. I was more convinced maybe the New Day would pull off the upset here. I thought that if they're going to lead, eventually took a Dean Ambrose heel turn or something like that. I thought maybe this would be the start of it with them losing to New Day, because they won already as a stable against the Miz and the Bar last week. So I thought, okay, maybe they're going to throw a curveball here. I mean, I thought the Shield was going to win, but I was thinking back in my head, well, they could throw a curveball here as well and surprise us. But I love the move also wherever Big E had both Ambrose and Rollins up, and I think it was, can't remember if it was Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods, one of the two. I think it was Xavier. Double team with Big E and hit the double midnight hour on both of them, and looked about to get the win. But then Roman Reigns, of course, comes in with the spear, and I thought at first the spear missed, you know, the pin. I thought maybe he just speared them, but they still got the pinfall victory at first. But no, it's the case. So the spear did break up the pin, and then you know, they got Xavier Woods and Roman Reigns out. I mean, Xavier Woods and Big E out of the match, and pretty much was just Kofi being fed to the Shield. Then as Reigns was speared, I mean, Reigns speared Kofi. We did see, you know, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose do that where he does like whatever that Kingslayer knee strike to the jaw into the dirty deeds earlier on. I think it was Xavier Woods, I think it was, but that was saved. But then we got Rowan with the spear, and then we couldn't end the Shield match, of course, without a triple powerbomb. It wasn't just a triple powerbomb; it was a triple powerbomb from the top rope. I'm like, no, they won't do this. They won't do this. But they did. They hit. Kofi was the victim of the triple powerbomb. I really thought it was done to Xavier Woods, but it ended up being Kofi. And that's how I picked the victory again. It was a really good match. Again, I was hoping that it would make both of these stables look really strong, and they did. There were moments where I felt the New Day could have won this match, and there was moments where I felt the Shield could have won it. But either way, mission accomplished. I'm happy. So, like, as far as what's next for the Shield, I'm not too sure. You know, I keep thinking, you know, Ambrose is going to be the one to turn heel this time, as I thought that, okay, maybe they'll have Rollins and Ambrose ride out with the tag titles till the Revival come back. They'll drop them to the Revival because it is official now. There's going to be no Raw pay-per-view in December, just the SmackDown Clash of Champions pay-per-view on December 17th, the Sunday before Christmas weekend. And I felt that the Revival would be the team to dethrone the Shield of the tag titles, which I was a little disappointed at first when the way the Bar won them on Raw 2 weeks ago. But if it was just a way to get both of these tag teams on the card, then awesome, because, you know, both teams deserve it. Again, Sheamus and Cesaro. You know, I was talking with my friends about this too tonight. Just a year ago, I was not happy with these two teaming up, because at the time, I mean, I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance, but I really was hoping that Best of 7 series with Sheamus was going to lead Cesaro into the main event scene finally. It didn't, but they really made this work and become a legitimate tag team. And yes, I know there have been a lot of tag teams that have been, you know, deleted this year, but we've had some pretty good tag team matches. You know, the Hardys coming back has put out some good matches. The New Day, despite being directional at the beginning of the year, has done great. The Usos, Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin are you know, upcoming and looking strong as well as a tag team. The Shield, New Day, Usos, Gable and Benjamin. The Revival, hopefully, down at NXT, AOP, DIY, Sanity, Undisputed Era. We got a lot of great tag teams on here. But getting back to the Shield, I kind of don't want to see just like Dean Ambrose somebody just betray the Shield again, because I feel like if they do that again, then why would we want to see them reunite again down the line? Because these guys are like in their early 30s, late 20s, probably early 30s, like 30, 31. Like, they have a lot of years left down the line for them in their careers. So it's obvious that a Shield reunion here and there is not going to hurt. But I feel like if they keep like ending their runs the same way, it's going to kind of get old after a while. So they can go their separate ways. They can still, feud with each other like down the line, but not turn legitimately on each other. I just don't know how that's going to work. Let me see here. TN Couponer says Kalisto needs a manager. Yes. Shield versus New Day was a perfect way to open up the show. Exactly. And Big E held both men while Kofi and Xavier jumped off the ropes. Okay, yeah, thank you. I thought I can't remember how exactly that midnight hour was hit. I just remember just them being held both in the ropes. But yeah, so like, how do you guys think when the Shield split up eventually, should they just want to go their separate ways and just say, hey, let's just see what we can do on our own again, or, whatnot. But again, it can't be just, like a very dramatic thing, like, when Seth Rollins turned on them and joined the Authority. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes down, but still, great opener. I loved it. Probably the second best match of the night by far. So that's how we open up the show. So then we go to our next match, which was the Women's Survivor Series elimination match. And before this, we had Stephanie McMahon backstage rallying up Team Raw, waiting for her just to crap on somebody else, just like she always does, but she didn't really. She just, rallied them up. So, whatever. I didn't have to hear a sick Stephanie promo tonight, even though I thought she was going to get that way with Daniel Bryan. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But next we had the Women's Elimination match. It was Team Raw, captained by, can't believe I'm still saying this, Alicia Fox, glad this is over, Asuka, Bayley, Nia Jax, and Sasha Banks taking on Team SmackDown's team, Becky Lynch, Carmella, Naomi, Natalya, and Tamina. This match, I'd say, was okay. I don't know. It's just the eliminations were weird. I didn't quite understand the story. I mean, the only good thing that happened in this match really was the outcome. But the eliminations I thought were just strange. Like, first off, also, the addition of Natalya just randomly being added to the match after not just saying after she lost a title, hey, despite losing the title, you're still going to be on Team SmackDown. I really thought when they said a mystery part who's going to be the fifth member of Team SmackDown, I really felt there was a chance it could have been Paige. It could have been Nikki Bella coming back. Well, I thought also Ember Moon was a possibility, but she won the NXT Women's Championship, so maybe not. That was probably thrown out the window last night. But I'm thinking, okay, they're got to make that fifth spot good. They just threw Natalya in there. It's like, why didn't you just announce it on Tuesday then? We're going to, just, give it away then. I didn't quite do that. And then, TN Couponer says the Shield breaking up. It should be all three men wanting it. No turns. Exactly. He was shocked that Becky was eliminated so early. So was I. Because I thought that if they were going to have Natalya come in, I thought, okay, maybe Becky will get taken out. Because why would Becky be the team captain? Which, I mean, I love Becky Lynch, but anytime it seems like Becky Lynch finally gets to that spot she's been working hard for, something just seems to happen. And then we had her just get eliminated like that. She started off looking strong against, who did she face? I think it was Alicia Fox was in there first. And then Bayley just tagged herself in, rolled up Becky for the win. And I'm like, okay, like, what? Really? Like, I really think, like, like Tamina or Natalya, anybody else could have gone first, but Becky? So, either way, I feel if Becky's getting eliminated so soon, this has to lead to something. I know some people talk about maybe a Becky Lynch heel turn, which I mean, at this point, I think it'd be okay to do. You got, we see what baby faces you have on SmackDown. Naomi and Charlotte. Ooh, well, not sure. If they bring back, Nikki Bella, or if somebody else turns face or whatnot, I mean, I'm not sure. The balance between faces and heels might be a little off. as well. But I think at some point, I think Becky should just turn heel because she's probably frustrated, of all this going on. She just got snuck in and was not defeated. Well, yeah, defeated, but eliminated by Bayley like that. So I'm just like, that is weird. So let me see the other orders. Tamina was the one who seemed to take control of this match for most of it, as she eliminated a couple people. Let's see how many people did Tamina eliminate? Tamina eliminated 1, 2, counting the. Yeah, she only eliminated 2, counting the Nia Jax being counted out. I still wasn't quite too thrilled with that because Tamina, to me, I'm sorry, Tamina's always been just there. She was, tagging along with AJ Lee when AJ was in her longest reign Divas title run. She what else has she really done? I mean, she's had a couple title matches but never won. She was with Naomi for a while when we had Team Bad in 2015, and then that went away after Tamina got hurt. Was out for over a year again for like the 5th time in her career or whatnot. But I'm sorry, I've never really been impressed with her. And her getting the time she got in this match kind of made me a little bit mad because I felt like she took away a lot of time from some of the younger talent or the more upcoming talent that, have a lot of mileage ahead of them, where Tamina, who's really limited. And this doesn't really seem she's never really been much anything. I wasn't happy at all with how Nia Jax got eliminated by countouts, too, as well. I was hoping Nia would just, squash Tamina, making her look good. But it's like, you can only get so far anymore with, it seems like, that Nia Jax is like, she's close to getting that big breakthrough. You just got to give her that big push. And they're not doing that. They're treating her still like, just like, a big, like more of like a veteran who's there putting over everyone else. And it's just, she's making her look like she doesn't feel like as relevant if you just give her that push. And like her, squashing Tamina, sure, that would have been awesome. But just the way she was just counting out like that, I was like, I wasn't really a big fan of that. But that's what happened there. What are eliminations we had? And then we did have it was weird because I couldn't tell if but again, so it was Becky was being eliminated by Bayley, then Tamina did like a splash on Bayley, eliminate her, and then Nia Jax eliminated by countout. And then yes, Alicia Fox was awkwardly, it was weird. Like I couldn't tell if Naomi got the pin on Alicia before she went to the submission, trying to get her to tap out or what. But she just went out like that, and then right away Naomi got eliminated by tapping out to the bank statement from Sasha Banks. Like it was strange. So, and then I did look away for a second. I didn't see it. Carmella though got eliminated by Asuka, who eliminated 3 in this match. Now, again, despite the match being a little flat and not really being anything special, what I did like, though, was how the match ended. And what needed to happen, the match happened. Asuka would then eliminate Carmella. Sasha Banks would then get eliminated, though, by Natalya with the sharpshooter. But then it was a 2-on-1, Asuka and Natalya and Tamina. And then she eliminated Tamina by tap out, I believe. And she also eliminated Natalya with the Asuka lock to win the match. So that was a bright spot. That's what I wanted. I felt Asuka needed to be the sole survivor, make her look strong. And look at that. She got 3 eliminations. Excellent. I keep saying with Asuka, being up on the main roster, knowing how the main roster tends to screw people up at times who came from NXT, I always, hold my breath whenever she's in the match like this. I think, okay, they're not going to screw her over. Like I didn't even want Asuka to be eliminated by countouts or anything like that. But to seeing her get 3 eliminations and be the sole survivor of Team Raw, I'm like, excellent. That's just what I need. Like Asuka in a few months could probably be starting her long reign as Raw Women's Champion, building her up and making that first loss mean something. That's why I asked. Just don't make it be like how it was with Charlotte and her championship pay-per-view matches, losing just like that randomly to Bayley at Fastlane. That needed to be safe for WrestleMania, and they didn't capitalize on that. So please do not screw up Asuka. You did great tonight, WWE, but do not screw it up. Because it keeps showing us that nobody is ready for Asuka. But again, man of a match, wasn't terrible. But yeah. TN Couponer says, if WWE has a female Royal Rumble, Asuka should win, but Nia should eliminate the most women. That would make sense. And he's also happy that the WWE protected Asuka's streak. Yes, definitely. But again, the match was it was okay, but I didn't really enjoy it. I felt the eliminations were just weird as well. But yeah, the right call was made. We had a backstage segment with Daniel Bryan and Stephanie McMahon, pretty much just, going back and forth about, which brand was going to win pretty much. And I liked how Daniel Bryan was shooting on how, well, your husband, the Game, was the same guy that I beat at WrestleMania 30 and whatnot. And then, of course, I think she said something in the end about how, wouldn't you want Shane McMahon to be, be out of power so that way you could take over. So trying to play mind games there. And there is some tension again between Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon as of recently. He wanted to sit down with Shane, have a meeting with him after Survivor Series. He said on Tuesday night. So this coming Tuesday, we'll see what happens there as well. So yeah, that was all right. It wasn't like, Stephanie completely burying Daniel Bryan. It's just everybody else. But we're moving on now to this match. It was The Miz and Baron Corbin, the Intercontinental title versus the United States title. I know a lot of people were really excited about this match because it's heel on heel. You don't know who to cheer for. I mean, I felt this was one match that couldn't really be saved. This is the only match that I don't think didn't change from the original card that we got at the beginning of the Survivor Series build. But I was still kind of okay with it because, it was like two different heels. Like, Baron Corbin, who's, just goes in there, doesn't care, wants to beat people up, and there's the Miz, who great on the mic, but when it comes up to facing a guy Baron Corbin, like Braun Strowman, some big scary man like them, he's running for his life. But that's not the case. They actually put on, I thought, not a great match, but a decent match. I enjoyed it. The Psychology was out there. Maurice is at ringside also watching the Miz. I like the one part time when they're right in front of her, and Baron Corbin looked at her, he's like, "Who's the real man now, honey?" or whatever he said. I liked it when he did that. But again, the match was it was a decent match. It was definitely more than average. But it didn't really light things up. And again, you don't know who to cheer for because they're both heels. But again, things went well. Corbin took out Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas as well. I believe. I know he took out Axel. I can't remember if he took out Dallas. But then I know the Miz did try taking him out with the knees. So it was like it's some of the most Psychology really seen the Miz actually trying to do wrestling wise, not just trying to outsmart him. Well, not just outsmarting him with other people getting in his way, but he did attack Corbin in other ways I've never seen before. So that was new. Corbin did eventually get the win though, hitting the end of days on the Miz, get the win. He more so needed this than the Miz, and the Miz could take this loss. He'd be just fine. So Baron Corbin gets the win, continue to build up strong. Hopefully once he drops the U.S. title, which hopefully won't be for a while, he'll be able to go after the WWE Championship. So that match was decent as well. Then we get to another really good match. The Usos and The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. Again, I was kind of more excited. I was more excited for the Miz. I mean, not the Miz. The Shield and the Usos. I thought that could have been a match that could have tore the house down. But this match was going to be good as well. And it was. It was a very solid match. Probably the third best match of the night, I felt, in my opinion. It was just they went out there and, Cesaro had his cycling uppercuts in the match as well. The Usos pushed them to the limit as well. I mean, it was just a good match. I mean, trying to remember some other spots they had in the match. The double teaming of Sheamus and Cesaro. I was hoping for a double Us to be the victory when both Usos, go from one corner from the other as their finisher. But it was just the Usos. There's one of the Usos took Cesaro out on the side, and then they hit the splash on Sheamus to get the victory. Again, it was a fun, fast-paced match. Started off a little bit slow, but it did pick up towards the end. Again, both teams look like they could have won this match, but the Usos came out on top. So, again, a good match. Don't really have too many spots to really talk about this match, but I still enjoyed it. We then had, the women's champions going at each other. It was Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte. It was kind of a competitive match. It wasn't as good, though, as, Usos in the Bar or the Shield and New Day, or even the match that was second to last. This was still a real. I thought it was a strong match. I enjoyed it a little bit more than the mid card title for title. I mean, not title for title. Champion versus champion match. It wasn't something that completely knocked my socks out though, but I still enjoyed it. We had, Charlotte. Charlotte though looked a little bit out of it in this match. I think it was after she took that scary looking bump, where I think she did try rolling up Alexa Bliss and she kicked out of it and her head went face forward right into the middle turnbuckle. She looked a little bit out of it after that. But she had like her moments there, and Alexa Bliss did as well. I thought she had her when she hit that one DDT on her, but then Charlotte put her foot on the ropes. Just two of the best guys. And again, even though Alexa Bliss didn't win the match, I felt she hung with Charlotte pretty well. Maybe seeing them collide again sometime down the line, but again, I'm glad we got this started than Alexa Bliss and Natalya. That would have been just like a little bit like an average match at the most, so whatnot. But again, solid match by these two. I'm glad they got to have this match. Looking at the live chat, you see he's happy that Corbin won, and when Miz used Bryan's kicks, for more fans chanting yes than normal. TNQ Bar says the Usos are killing in 2017. Oh, absolutely. My goodness. They were always amazing, but their gimmick was just getting old and they're getting really stale as baby faces. They turned them heel, and they brought out the more mic skills on them. They were a lot more entertaining. Like them in the New Day were just had a great feud compared to what they had in 2016, where the matches they had were fine. It's just they just overdid the matches, and then you waited, and they put on some like huge classics this year. Yeah, my good. I gotta say either the Usos or AOP I would pick as my tag team of the year. Honestly, I'm still trying to decide, but I have a month left until we do the year rewards video on Daniel Guys' channel. But yeah, again, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss though, solid match. Charlotte wins with the figure 8. And then we get to this match, the match of the night by far. Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. My goodness, I kept sitting there thinking, wow, we could have been getting Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal right now. And manage how awful that was going to be. Going to this match, though, I still was a little bit worried of the fact that it does seem that Brock Lesnar hasn't really put on really a great match. I mean, let me see here. I mean, he did good at SummerSlam. Great Balls of Fire wasn't too bad. It wasn't as good as I hoped for, but it wasn't too bad. WrestleMania, him and Goldberg did fine. We're good. I like that match, and the squash match of last year. We can't really count that. But Lesnar hasn't had too many good matches as of late. Like the last one, like he really had that was good. Let me see here. Him and Roman fought at WrestleMania 31. That was good. I'm trying to think that summer. When did he fight? Trying to think, who did he fight at SummerSlam 2015? Oh yeah, Undertaker. What am I thinking? No. He fought Seth Rollins at Battleground. That match wasn't all right, but was all right. But it was just just the angle of the Undertaker turning. His feud with the Undertaker was good. I'll give him that. Those were good matches as well. And then he didn't fight Survivor Series that year, and he was in the Royal Rumble. That's when he almost had a feud with Bray Wyatt, which I thought I was actually kind of interested in, but probably wouldn't have put Bray Wyatt over anyways. But yeah, his match with Dean Ambrose wasn't good, and then his match with Randy Orton wasn't too good either. And his feud with Goldberg, those were good matches. But again, I'm just getting my point. I was worried that what if Brock Lesnar just did another I don't give a crap match anymore, and then I was worried that we were going to get that. But yes, like T and Coupar says here, give Lesnar credit for selling Styles' calf crusher after the match. Oh my goodness, yes, definitely. Of all matches, even when the match is Braun Strowman, I have never seen Lesnar coming out of a match looking like he had been, defeated or whatnot, looking like he was still like, he had to fight tooth and nail just to survive that. Well, maybe kind of with Mojo, but he was like, he really sold the pain from that calf crusher. But this match was great. And the story it told too, at the beginning, Lesnar was manhandling Styles like no tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, don't tell me this is going to end up like, Lesnar and Cena back at SummerSlam 2014. I was hoping it was going to lead there. But then Styles, despite being just beat up and everything, just, fought back. And he, got Lesnar down on his feet. He showed, the quickness of him and such, and the offensive style he has was a little too was definitely a lot more challenging to Lesnar than he probably expected. He did have Lesnar out of the ring one time. I was hoping, what if he would have tried to hit the Styles Clash on Brock? Which he's trying to set up for a one time. Like, no, he's not going to lift him up for the Styles Clash. He didn't get him up, but he hit several phenomenal forearms on him. And I like that one Pele kick where he literally had to do a complete 180. Because usually he just has to, if like right behind him, just like fling back into kicks like getting right in the face. No, AJ Styles did a legit 180 on Brock Lesnar just to get that Pele kick. I'm like, that was sick, man. He hit with a couple phenomenal forearms, though, outside the ring before he hit like a nice 450 splash and hit a phenomenal forearm on him, but he would kick out. But then when he's going for the phenomenal forearm where he ripped off the armband, a couple times he did escape from it, but Lesnar caught him with an F5, and that was the victory for Lesnar. I wasn't quite surprised. But a lot of people, and I will talk about this after the talk about the main event, felt that this should have been the main event, which honestly, after what happened in the main event, even though the stakes were higher, due to the whole thing, they were keeping track of how many wins Raw had and how many wins SmackDown had, I felt that this could have really, been a very interesting main event. And also, it would not have made the main event look so unpredictable. So even though I had wanted a 5-on-5 men's elimination match be the main event, I felt like this could have made things a little bit more interesting because this was just an awesome match. I was glad to see they put this on. Is it match of the year? I don't think it hit classic level, but it was very close. I mean, if AJ would have won, I think it could have been match of the year. But again, he put on a great show, and it looked like he had a chance to beat Brock. But of course, with Brock beating Braun, like that kind of rolled out until Roman Reigns does it. And like TN Couponer says, there was a moment also towards the end where Styles had Lesnar locked in the calf crusher, and after the match, though, Lesnar was limping up the ramp. He sold that calf crusher very well, as you said there. And yes, he thinks this should have main evented as well. I feel that it probably could have. Even though we didn't know who's going to win the men's Survivor Series elimination match, but I feel it could have made this match not so predictable after what happened. But speaking of which, let's get into this main event. The 5-on-5 men's elimination match. And somewhat Kurt Angle's job is on the line. For Team Raw, it was Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and The Game, Triple H. For Team SmackDown, it was Shane McMahon, Bobby Roode, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, and John Cena, most likely making just a one-night appearance, being on Team SmackDown. Oh, boy. This match, I can't really say I completely enjoyed it, because there's some things that I did enjoy about it. It was just weird. It was very weird, and I didn't understand about it. The first thing that I felt weird though is that someone pointed this out on Twitter as well. John Cena. Okay, we'll get to him last, but Shane McMahon and Triple H didn't come out wearing like a Raw or SmackDown shirt. They came out with shirts on what their t-shirts would be, except it was that color. I'm like, okay, John Cena came out in a neon green t-shirt. His next new t-shirt and his new towel didn't bother wearing a blue shirt for Team SmackDown. I mean, I know he's a free agent still and whatnot, but it's just, I still just want to know, why did Cena choose to join Team SmackDown? Or is it there was absolutely nobody else to join, so the WWE just threw him in there for no reason at all whatsoever? I was a little ticked about how he didn't wear a SmackDown shirt. At least, represent the team. Has to show off his latest t-shirt and whatnot, as usual. But so that was something though. Another thing that bothered me about this match though is that all the veterans seem to get most of their moments. Now, what I like though is that there were some future matches being teased, like Joe and Cena, or we didn't really get much of a Balor and Cena. Although Balor did play a part in Cena's elimination. We got, Kurt. I like seeing Kurt Angle and Cena going at it. That was what I was looking forward to seeing. But we got Triple H going toe-to-toe with with Shinsuke Nakamura. We had Nakamura and Balor go at it. We had Nakamura and Triple H. We also had Nakamura and Bobby Roode. It's like the NXT daddy going up against, the stars that he created. I thought those were cool. But what I didn't like was that all the younger guys, the non-experienced guys, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, were all eliminated first. Braun Strowman didn't, but we'll get to him shortly. The order was, it was Braun Strowman eliminated Shinsuke Nakamura. Then immediately he eliminated Bobby Roode. Even though they both got some good offensive spots on there. Like Nakamura and Triple H had some good offensive spots on there. I was worried that Triple H would eliminate both of them. But then it being Braun Strowman's like, okay, Braun's still new as a monster. Okay, but still, like, why did they have to eliminate them so early? I was hoping Randy Orton would be the first one eliminated for Team SmackDown. That's what I was hoping for. And then Raw, it was tough because I was thinking maybe it had been either Finn Balor or Samoa Joe. But they all did get some offense in there, but most of this match was from the veterans, and I was a little ticked off about that. But yes, first it was Nakamura being eliminated, and then Bobby Roode got eliminated. And then John Cena finally got into the match, and Cena just being on the ropes, being his usual self, like trying to pump up the crowd and everything. It's like, you think you're the only one in this match? Like, come on, man. But he and Joe went at it for a little bit, and then he AA'd Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. First he AA'd Joe, then he AA'd Finn Balor, and then he did it again to Joe, who was a legal man, to eliminate Joe. I was not too pleased by that. But then after that, to a surprise, this was when Cena and Angle were going at it. I think Angle hit him. I can't remember what I think he hit the Angle slam on Cena first, and then Finn Balor did the coup de grace, and then Angle had another Angle slam, and that eliminated Cena. So I'm like, oh, okay, thanks for coming, Cena. Have a good night, or whatever. And that's what it felt like. But Team Raw, though, was the only team that seemed to be taking some tensions. We had, Finn Balor and Samoa Joe not getting along. We had, Triple H, and Kurt Angle once in the Blue Moon yelling at each other. It seemed like at times they might implode. But they didn't completely implode. Well, not right away until we got to the end. Now, I predicted 2 interferences from this match. I predicted that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn would come out and try to be the one to eliminate Shane McMahon. They'd be the reason why Shane got eliminated. And I thought that the twist I thought was going to be Jason Jordan, who I think he was interviewed earlier in the night, but I can't remember what he said. I think he was hoping that Triple H got out of the match. But I was hoping that Jason Jordan would come out towards the end of the match and say it's like, even though I'm not sure who would be from SmackDown, I want to see it being the sole survivor. But having Jason Jordan come out there and just to get revenge on his father for not, getting him to keep him in the match, what if he turned heel and costed Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle got eliminated? Like, that could have led some interesting TV as well, and turning Jordan heel. Well, we got 1 out of 2 of those. The first was when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn did come in there and tried to take out Shane McMahon. But unfortunately, their plan backfired as Shane McMahon attacked them both with chairs and scurried them off. Also, Randy Orton RKO on Kevin Owens. I'm sure we're probably going to be seeing a feud between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, probably maybe going into Clash Champions, or even it could be I don't want to see it being Orton and Zayn taking on, or not Orton and Zayn. Well, I mean, a feud between Orton and Zayn would be too bad, but I don't want to see a tag match with Zayn and Owens taking on Orton and Nakamura. I don't want to see that. If it's just Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, fine. I'm thinking it's going to blow up the roof off the house, whatnot, but whatever. But Shane McMahon just attacked him with chairs, scaring, like shooting them off. Again, a thing that I'm still not quite liking about Sami Zayn as a heel is despite he's being the heel on the mic, it feels like he's just more so just reacting to whatever Kevin Owens is doing. Like, he's not going out of his way to do more heel tactics than just on the mic. And it's something that I kind of expected from a heel Sami Zayn, but if you're going to make him full on heel as they are going for, I'd say he needs to be more proactive and not just just be on Kevin Owens' leash all the time, because it just seems he just follows up with what he does. So that's something I say to work on a little bit with him. But like that interference, I was fine with that, even though they didn't eliminate Shane from the match. I didn't want to see Randy Orton being the final member of SmackDown as well. It made sense with Shane McMahon, over Randy Orton, but I would have rather seen someone else be a sole survivor. Just glad it wasn't John Cena. But they scurried him off. Randy Orton, though, gets eliminated by Braun Strowman, who had 3 eliminations in this match as well. And then here's where the match got really weird. Really weird. And I didn't understand this at all. Well, I'm not saying I don't understand, but I'm just confused. I gotta wait to see what happens next. So, like, I knew that, Triple H, of course, why would he be, like, able to get along with Kurt Angle? But I got another wish, though. Kurt Angle had Shane McMahon in the ankle lock. Well, then all of a sudden, Triple H just comes in, grabs Angle, pedigrees him, and then he puts Shane McMahon on, helps him to get the pinfall victory on Kurt Angle. And I'm like, what? Like, could it be setting up for a match in the future? And then it seemed briefly that Triple H and Shane McMahon were, like, somehow on the same page. And I'm just like, is Shane McMahon betraying SmackDown here or something? Or, like, what's going on here? And then, like, Braun Strowman, this is actually priceless. He's, like, standing there on the side, just like, huh? What? What are you doing? And then, it seemed like Triple H and Shane McMahon were like on some type of page there. So all of a sudden, he just then pedigrees Shane, and that's how the match ends. Like that abrupt. I'm like, so this whole storyline is more focused on Kurt Angle. But even though we had some young veterans in this match, we made this match to put over Triple H. It's like, where does this go from here? Like, why did he do this? Raw won. But since Kurt got eliminated, is that going to make Stephanie not want to have Kurt as GM anymore and put Triple H GM of Raw now and just reform the Authority again? Oh, my goodness, please don't. I got enough of that. But it's just going to lose a match between Triple H and Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 34. I mean, it could be good. It's just I'm just scratching my head. And, like Triple H is acting like so happy. He point out, oh, Braun survived me too. And then after the match, Strowman grabbed Triple H and said, don't ever try to play my game with me ever again. And he starts to walk away. And then Triple H still attacks him. And then Braun Strowman lays him out with 2 running power slams. So, again, this ending was so confusing. Like, it did kind of times feel like, though, it's like, oh, this is just them trying to, send the fans home happy by him taking out Triple H. Well, like they still won the match, but is Braun Strowman, sticking up for Kurt Angle because he's a babyface now? Like, what was the reason why for Braun Strowman to snap at Triple H for what he did, besides the fact that he took out Kurt Angle? They still won the match. I guess Braun Strowman gonna be punished now for putting his hands on Triple H. And the look on Triple H's face too was priceless as well when he cornered him down into the ring. And of course, as TN Couponer said shared on Twitter with what he saw too, after when he went up the ramp, Triple H turns around and he walks right into the stage. So like he must have been like that rocked up from those power slams. But yeah, like what does this mean? What is next for Survivor Series? Triple H versus Braun, KO and Zayn versus Orton and Cena. As long as KO and Zayn won, I'd be before that. And yes, I wish also the younger talent would have eliminated veterans. Well, I mean, somewhat with Finn Balor helping Angle eliminate Cena. That somewhat counts to me. But still, yeah, I didn't like how they were all eliminated early. Triple H versus Braun Strowman. I mean, it's possible. I feel like this is more personal between Kurt Angle and Triple H, but Triple H and Braun Strowman, like, I'll give it a go. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I am just super confused. I'm not gonna be able to watch Raw tomorrow night though, but I'm gonna catch the highlights or just DVR and catch it afterwards. But I really wonder what's happening. But I just don't know what to think of it. Do I like it or hate it? I definitely wasn't completely a fan of the match. Like the match was just weird. Wasn't terrible, but it didn't quite, like leave me excited. I'm just like so confused, don't know what to think of this. So we'll have to see what happens. As you know, as Raw is not going to have a December pay-per-view. The next time Raw is going to be pursuing a pay-per-view is at the Royal Rumble. In December, we're having this Clash of Champions on December 17th. So SmackDown's going to get a pay-per-view, so we'll see what goes down there. But that pretty much wraps up this review of Survivor Series, guys. Again, TN Couponer, thank you for tuning in live as always. Let's go through the polls here really quick. I had 2 polls here. What grade would you give Survivor Series? 10 votes. 50% said A, 40% said B, nobody said C, and 10% said D. And what show did you enjoy more this week? NXT TakeOver War Games or Survivor Series? 10 votes. 70% said War Games. 30% said Survivor Series. So I definitely can say it was a fun weekend. I enjoyed both shows. Survivor Series, again, it had, like, I can't say it was a bad show. I enjoyed it. It was a great show. The matches were good, at least, average. I mean, average to decent. Like, the main events kind of, though, didn't quite hit it off for me because it was just strange. What it could lead to could be good, could be bad. We'll see what happens. Again, as you said in the live chat, TN Couponer, more questions and answers, definitely. So that's kind of what we want, just wondering what's going to happen next. So they did have a hook here, but it was strange and very confusing. We don't know what to expect next, but we'll see what happens. But for my grade, TN Couponer gave it a B-, said War Games definitely a better show. Definitely about War Games. I want to give Survivor Series a B, a solid B. Again, I enjoyed the Shield and New Day, Usos in the bar, Corbin and Miz was all right. Same with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. I didn't watch any of the pre-show matches. I'm not counting those at all whatsoever. The elimination matches, though, were kind of but, of course, the match of the night by far was definitely AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar. Glad we got to see a great match between those two. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's going to wrap up my live review of SmackDown Live. As always, TN Couponer, thank you again for tuning in. Make sure to click that like and subscribe for more content on this channel. If you're watching this after it's been uploaded, then make sure to just leave your thoughts down in the comment section as well. What you thought about Survivor Series. As far as this week goes, tomorrow I'm pretty booked. I'm going to be working all day on a side project, and I'm going to be visiting some friends in the evening. So I'm going to catch Raw later and review Raw sometime on Tuesday. I will be reviewing SmackDown, of course, live on Tuesday. Wednesday is NXT. Anytime I have to squeeze in there of my next WrestleMania reviews, I'm on WrestleMania 23 right now. I'll get those in. But other than that, it's going to be a pretty tight week for me with, work and with the holiday coming up as well. So, happy early Thanksgiving to all you guys as well. Eat lots of turkey, any, side dishes that, besides the usual stuff that your family may bring. Hope you all enjoyed that. So we'll see what happens this week and what happens with the fallout from Survivor Series 2017 as we wrap up the year with Clash of Champions in December for SmackDown. So that's it, guys. Again, thank you for tuning in. As always, also follow me on Twitter at DemandAirboy93. And I'm checking out now, guys. With that, I'll see you all later. Have a great night.